My beautiful classmate, who looked down on me for dropping out of high school, told me one day, "My husband is a Harvard grad and a department head, not like you." So I responded, "Well, he's unemployed starting tomorrow." At my company's anniversary party, I unexpectedly ran into my classmate Sarah, but Sarah just mocked me for being a factory worker. "Don't come near us if you see us, okay? My husband is a Harvard-educated director, way above someone lowly and incompetent like you." Her words, seemingly enjoying the harassment, brought back painful memories of middle school. Back then, Sarah used to bully me for being poor. Finally, I felt as if the last straw of my patience had snapped inside me. "Well, your husband will be unemployed from tomorrow." Sarah was shocked by my unexpected words but soon laughed it off as a joke. However, she and her husband would soon understand the true meaning of my words. My name is David Young. I'm turning 42 this year. I met my wife Annie at work, and we got married. It's our 15th wedding anniversary this year, and I've never really had a serious argument with the kind and family-oriented Annie. I'm always grateful to Annie, who always supports me, and we live a peaceful life together. One day, my company decided to hold an anniversary party. It's the 50th anniversary this year, so it was going to be a big event, and I was looking forward to it. On the day of the anniversary, I wore a suit and tie picked out by Annie and got ready to leave. Annie had her hair done beautifully in the morning and was wearing a light-colored dress. "How do I look?" "David, you look incredibly beautiful," I replied. Her elegant beauty was mesmerizing, perhaps partly due to my bias. With Annie by my side, I headed to the venue. The venue we rented was quite large, and as we got closer, we saw more people heading to the same place. It's typical for a big corporation's anniversary party to have so many invitees. "Yeah, there must be hundreds of people invited," I said while exchanging words with Annie. We entered the venue and waited for the event to start. Inside, many people had already gathered, exchanging greetings and introducing themselves. Company events are, in a way, a chance for self-promotion, so the more capable employees are eager to network. While I was greeting attendees, I was suddenly approached. "Is that you, David?" A familiar voice called out. "Nor, Sarah, right?" I replied. There in front of me was Sarah, my classmate from middle school. She was eyeing me with a look that seemed to mock me. Sarah, the beauty and center of attention in our class since childhood, still maintained her beauty even after about 30 years since middle school. But now, her beauty faded as she glared at me with her eyes narrowed. "It's been a while, hasn't it, David? What are you doing now? Everyone's worried about you since you never show up to reunions." Sarah spoke to me with a mocking tone. To be frank, back in middle school, I wasn't exactly a standout in my class. Sarah, seemingly oblivious to this, kept talking with a hyper-cheerful laugh, even though I hadn't asked. "I got married 5 years ago. My husband is an elite employee who was in charge of an overseas branch until recently, and today, he's even getting recognized as an outstanding employee." "That's great. Congratulations," I said, surprised that Sarah's husband worked at this company. I still offered my congratulations. Then Sarah, for some reason displeased, frowned. "There's no need for you to congratulate me. What kind of job do you have, being here? Are you associated with the company?" "I am." Before I could explain, Sarah waved her hand dismissively, as if bored with the conversation. "Never mind, it's not important. You probably work in some subcontractor's factory, being a middle school graduate and all." "I do go to the factory, indeed." I started to speak again, but by that time, Sarah had already turned her back on me. She had lost interest in me. "A factory worker like you shouldn't even be here. Just stay quiet in the corner and don't embarrass yourself." With that, Sarah walked away towards a man who must be her husband, Brandon. While I thought it was petty, I made sure to remember his name. Sarah mocked me for being a middle school graduate, but to be precise, that's not entirely true. When I was in middle school, my mom got seriously ill, and my dad lost his job due to the recession. From that day, my life changed completely. My dad, once a diligent employee, started drinking and gambling to escape from the harsh reality. Soon we ran out of money and had to sell our house, moving into a small, old one-bedroom apartment. As a middle schooler, I grew taller but couldn't afford new uniforms or sports gear, so I had to make do with hand-me-downs from relatives. This made me a target for ridicule by my classmates. I was called poor and uncool. Sarah, beautiful and bossy, was the ringleader, even instructing the entire class not to talk to me. She was the popular girl in class, and no one dared to go against her, so her bullying continued until we graduated. On graduation day, Sarah called me over and asked with a sneer, "Which high school are you going to? It would be good if you could get a hand-me-down uniform." I was so annoyed by her persistent teasing that I retorted, "I won't need a uniform for the high school I'm going to." "Not going to high school? Just working after middle school?" "Yay, that's right. I'm going to work after graduating middle school," I said. Hearing my response, Sarah burst into laughter. "I can't believe you don't even have the money to go to high school." "Well, do your best to earn your pay as a middle school graduate." I left without replying to her. What I told Sarah wasn't entirely true, but it wasn't completely false either. I attended a night high school while working during the day. My dad was still drowning in alcohol, and my mom, who was doing piecework, kept going in and out of the hospital, so I had no one to rely on.